If my president is Trump, then it's relevant enough to talk about it on TV and not give a. I'm black and I'm proud. My skin is brown and I'm loud. America wanna act all happy and holy, but deep down inside they like Brad and Jolie. You can never make America great again. All you ever did was make this country hate again.
You so black. When you smile, the stars come out. You so black, when you born, the God come out, black is not. Black when it's wrong and black when it's right. Black is pyramids and mathematics. Black is melanized in magic. Black is televised and in need of drastic black advancement. Black enhances, black with chances, black with privilege, black with pride, black on purpose on the black hand side, black and beautiful, black and blessed and highly favored, praise the Lord, black and blessed, black and so much more, black and nothing less. Black and educated, black is brilliant, black is strong, black is resilient, black is song, black is infinite, like hip hop or space, black is grace, black is love, black makes babies, black babies grow.
I remember well these struggles that we went through during my childhood when the Ku Klux Klan was very active. It just made us stronger to continue the struggle for freedom. This was the seat that I took as I got on the bus. A few white people boarded the bus, and one man was left standing, and I certainly did not plan to stand up, and I didn't consider myself breaking the law because I was in what was supposed to be our part of the bus. So my arrest brought about a protest from the people of Montgomery that lasted 381 days. And when we did go back on the bus, we didn't, the Supreme Court had handed down a decision that there would be no more racial segregation in transportation. When I was on the bus the time I was arrested, the only thing that was on my mind was that I did not want to be treated in that way.
It took her sitting down to get a people to stand up. And we can never, ever, ever forget her for that.
Hey Wade, what's the sitch?
Time to check out another Disney Channel Black History fact. In 1960, Wilma Rudolph was the first woman to win 3 track gold medals in one Olympics. But there was a time when she could barely walk. As a kid, Wilma had to wear leg braces after being partially paralyzed by a disease called polio. With physical therapy and the support of her family, Wilma learned how to walk on her own again and went on to become a track and field legend. Look for more Black History facts this month on Disney Channel.
Did you know that after having a baby, your partner's DNA, the father, your baby daddy, stays in your body for years? It increases with the amount of children that you have. So if you ever find yourself acting out of character, it's not you, girl. You acting like your baby daddy.
Florence, is it possible for you to carry Femi's DNA inside your body after having a baby? The short answer is yes.
Sorry for the laugh.
This fascinating phenomenon occurs when cells from the fetus transfer into the mother during pregnancy. And this transfer of cells can persist for years. Sometimes it even lasts for a lifetime.
What did you say?
Now you have to keep in mind that half of the fetus's DNA comes from the father, Femi, which simply means that the DNA of the father can stay in the mother, Florence, for quite some time. In fact, some studies show that male DNA can be present in the tissues and organs of someone who has been pregnant before. It can even be present in their brain.
Like, how will I survive?
This process of having more than one set of DNA in your body is known as microchimerism. That said, if you hear someone say something like women carry the DNA of everybody they've ever slept with, that part is not true. Hope you learned something new today. Aya.
I love you, black man.
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 I love.
None of these female rappers are a threat to Nicki. No,
what it is. I don't
no,
care.
but it's not
That's
about.
not what I'm saying in that regard.
You can put the whole industry behind them. The industry can push all the buttons, give everybody all the commercials, all of that shit you want to give them. And none of these female rappers can stand next to Nicki. They can't rap better than her. They can't write better than her. They don't. When they step out, they don't set the trends that Nicki sets aesthetically. Nicki is just the one that every female rapper is chasing, whether they want to say it or not. She is the bar. That's just what it is. Now you can put the label behind an artist and push them and propel their career 100%. We've seen it done, but we also know that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the industry pushed the button on this artist.
My video was muted, but I just will recreate it. This is a list of things we use today that was created to disenfranchise black people. Starting out strong with insurance. Black people is actually the very first capital to be insured in this country. Next, we can talk about to-go plates. Back when it was no longer legal for for white people to say they don't want black people in their establishments, it was like, all right, we give them some plates and they can get the fuck on. Next is credit scores. Because before black people attempted to get credit in such a large amount, it was just open, willy-nilly, so much so that there was a fucking stock crash. Credit scores were created to make it hard for black people to secure a home loan. And back in the day, they actually came with a requirement of a reference, which leads us into our next thing. References. References was created back when vagrancy laws prohibited black people from being unemployed and made them sign labor contracts. In order to have a labor contract and be employed by a white planter, you had to have references from your last, basically owner. Mind you, these were free people, but free was used extremely loosely. Next is invoices, treadmills. Now, the treadmill was used as a punishment for slaves, and it was actually a machine. They called it the everlasting staircase or something like that. And it was like, it churned, I think it was like corn and cotton. Like it processed corn and cotton. But if you look it up, it's basically a large, almost like Stairmaster, if you will. But that's where the treadmill derived from. Next, college tuitions. Next is bar exams and exams alike. Before, you could actually enter any profession if you just went to college and you consider yourself a lawyer. But once black people started doing it, yeah, they had to put some type of other requirement to make it harder for us to get in there. Next is butter pecan ice cream, picnics. A lot of people don't know, but picnics actually took place on Sundays for a reason. A lot of these picnics took place outside of a black church or near a black church. And it wasn't like they would lynch one black person. They would actually kidnap people throughout the week, send their postcards throughout the week, and people would come from out of town to watch people be lynched in mass. Sometimes up to 12 people would be lynched at once. Next is master bedrooms. And lastly, paramedics. The only reason we have a system that we know today to be paramedics is because black people had no way to get to the hospital and no hospital to get to because it was prohibited. Hospitals was only used for white people, and there was no like ambulance, right? So paramedics, the very first paramedics in the country were black.
Honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us. He was investigated because he refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5. Took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that, want better than this. Want someone who understands, as I do, I travel our country. We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other.
You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism.
I'm speaking as a black man from America, which is a racist society. No matter how much you hear it talk about democracy, it's as racist as South Africa, or as racist as Portugal, or as racist as any other racialist society on this earth. The only difference between it and South Africa preaches separation and practices separation. America preaches integration and practices segregation. This is the only difference. They don't practice what they preach. Whereas South Africa preaches and practices the same thing. I have more respect for a man who lets me know where he stands, even if he's wrong, than the one who comes up like an angel and is nothing but a devil.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. This nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the...
You think I'm an ignorant savage, and you've been so many places, I guess it must be so, but still I cannot see if the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew,
Nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic, that's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses. I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million and this person has nothing and you can sleep? And then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires.
I can't believe Dr. Sebi ate this. Check it out.
So I was going to town that day. So I took the duck with me and started eating it. Oh my God, I felt so good. I felt so good eating that duck. 1 hour after I ate the duck, I happened to be in town. And it's a good thing I stopped driving. I began to throw up. I went to sleep under the mango tree. And when I woke up, 3 hours later, I was so calm. I was so beautiful. I felt so good. The only thing about the whole ordeal is the vomiting. But the vomiting, I interpreted and I analyzed it as being a very strong cleanser. And the reason why it cleansed so violently, the orchid is purple. It has nothing but iron, and it removes inflammation from the system. The duck is one of the most powerfulest treatment that you could take, and it acts immediately.
This detox is no joke. Click the link to the TikTok shop and go.
So honey is not meant to be eaten. At least most honey, like the one you see on the shelves of supermarkets, is not real. If you ever see those honey in those bare containers in grocery stores, yeah, they actually mix those secretly with corn syrup, and they don't even tell you. Real honey is actually very expensive, and it isn't produced year-round. What the real honey is called Jimarito. Jimarito is basically this type of honey that comes from only stingless bees. You know, Dr. Sebi actually spoke about it. He actually used it himself, and you guys know it. What happened to Dr. Sebi a couple years ago.
Spiritual realm, you gotta be ready.
Power is life. Power is life. That's how I see power. Okay, when you're lacking power, you don't have as much life in you. And a lot of us are lacking power. Power is life. Anything that you do, if it gives life to others, that's power. If you give health to others, that's power. If you can wake up others, that's power. You can turn on other people from being asleep, that's power. Power. Shakam. Power. See, what a lot of people don't understand is there's powerful people right now. These people, they're floating and they're flying. They looking like Superman flying through the sky. We've seen them figures, right? Those beings really moving like that. There's beings really moving like Superman, as they say. There's beings really moving like...
And something that's really been blowing me is I've seen black people, African-American black people down my TL talk about, oh, this ICE situation doesn't have anything to do with us. We don't have anything to do with that, y'all. We need to mind our business. How dare you? How dare you sit there in your slave descended skin and you say overturning the 14th Amendment has nothing to do with us. The 14th Amendment gave birthright citizenship. Who didn't have birthright citizenship before the amendment was put into place? Us. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, but it didn't guarantee equal rights. So y'all are sitting here and saying, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with this. It doesn't have... What if they're working backwards? What if they're working backwards? What if it's 14, 13, 12, 2? Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? How dare you sit here and be comfortable with children in churches, hospitals, and at school being rounded up to go sit in a detention center for an unannounced amount of time, because that's how long it takes. The shit that they've written out, it says that aliens can be arrested and put in a detention center and they'll get out eventually, however long that may take. But they're also subject to labor. They're subject to sit in detention centers and perform free labor until they can get out. What does that sound like to y'all? Who else sat in a little camp in somebody's backyard doing free labor? And you're talking about it don't have nothing to do with us. And you're okay with that. That's crazy. It's crazy that you can watch the same atrocities that were inflicted onto our ancestors. It's crazy you can watch that happen to somebody else and just... That's disgusting. And you should be fucking embarrassed. You should.
Believe me, if Donald Trump is president again, at some point or another, that ugliness will touch all of our lives. And it will not matter what you look like, how you worship, who you love, or how you vote. If you don't make 6 or 8 or 12 figures, if you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office. Let me take a minute to help folks.
Y'all will sell Walmart on Oakwood. They got 50% off everything. They still have a lot of stuff, and they need to hire me for this promotion. Candy and her friend, hello, Trina, and her husband. Look at that buggies, y'all. They got 4 goddamn buggies.
So I have some breaking news hot off the press. Hot off the press. So the government, Donald Trump, and Project 2025 just came out and said in the future, there will be no overtime. It will be work months. There will be no overtime pay for holidays, and there will be no overtime for weekends. So thank y'all so much who thought y'all was voting for no tax on overtime, no tax on tip. Now y'all ain't finna get shit stupid. See, I sat on this fucking app in July, August, September, October, and November up to election telling y'all dummies that the man is lying and just read Project 2025. But you dummies wouldn't read. Now we all finna get screwed because you thought you was finna get no tips on overtime. My boy, oh, he's a Trump supporter, and that's why he voted for Trump. Once he find this out, he might be on suicide watch. It's just crazy how y'all dummies got played. And now there will be no overtime at all. It will be work months like Project 2025 said. But now they added holidays, no overtime pay. Weekends, no overtime pay. So I love me a fuck around and find out moment. I love these moments, man. I love these moments. Because we tried to tell y'all. Now, and the last thing, to all you Trump supporters who out here lying about, talking about Trump gave North Carolina people furnished apartments. When? And y'all believe that shit? To my FEMA, Joe Biden only gave them $750, but Trump gave them furnished apartments. Where and how? You people run with any fucking lie that they tell y'all. It's just crazy how brainwashed y'all is, man. But yep, breaking news, there will be no overtime for no fucking body. Thank you, Latino man. Thank you, black man, for Trump and the few black women who voted. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for screwing everybody, you fucking clowns.
Y'all, it's literally nobody in here for real. Like, I've never seen it this empty.
Under the last administration, more than 10 million people were added to the food stamp rolls. Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare.
I gotta see her, travel all across the world just to meet her. Keep me on the flight. I gotta see her, travel all across the world just to meet her. Travel to LA, maybe to the Bay, from the Chi-Town where she.
No tax on tips. No tax on tips. So if you're a restaurant worker, a server, a valet, a bellhop, a bartender, or one of my caddies, I go through caddies like candy. If I play badly, I always blame my caddy. Or any other worker who relies on tipped income, your tips will be 100% yours. We're going to have no tax on tips from now on, but we're going to go after you viciously for all the money you didn't report for the last 10, 15. We're going to go after you for all the money you didn't report for. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I have to say to the fake news because they're going to say Trump is after all restaurant workers. I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away.
How many do we have in here? We have 16. We had one leave early. Can I go behind you?
Look at this. Perfect. Oh my God. Isn't it?
If you ever get lost, don't worry at all. I'll come for you because you're all that matters.
People on food stamps. And I'll tell you what, if we had a real, hello, You know, it's amazing. I mentioned food stamps, and that guy who's seriously overweight went crazy. He went crazy.
So if I get a job, I can get food stamps. But if I don't get a job, they cut my food stamps. But if I get a job, they're gonna cut my food stamps anyway. How does that work?
Don't take y'all ass to fucking Target. If y'all go, y'all better be stealing out that motherfucker. All boosters, head to Target. Walmart too. Take y'all ass in there. Don't buy shit, just steal. Do what you got to do for the people.
Leave the gays alone. Leave trans people alone. Y'all gonna make these executive orders make you feel empowered, and then you gonna leave with a 12-inch acrylic nail hanging out your neck. And you think shit is funny until you gotta explain to your homeboys how you got beat up by some Care Bears, okay? Stay safe and mind your business.
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for people who on Section 8 and on any government assistance. Trump said no more. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy like I got kicked off of Section 8 2 years ago and just started paying regular rent. It's hard, but what about all these people who can barely pay this stuff? Project 25 calls for cuts for all government assistance programs, including SNAP, Medicaid, Section 8, housing assistance, VA benefits. And what's really breaking my heart, I don't care what nobody got to say, mostly people who are on Section 8 is women with kids. It's about to be so many homeless people now, y'all. And not to mention my cousin just got a letter from her landlord 2 days ago stating that he's selling his whole apartment complex because it's no more Section 8. You cannot get comfortable with anything that's dealing with government assistance. Like, they can throw you off at any given time.
I'm really so confused because YT PPL are so quick to call somebody an immigrant. What are you? And then have the nerve to tell somebody to go back to their country. Is y'all country in the room with us? Because y'all don't belong here. If anything, America belongs to the Native Americans, Black people, and the Hispanics. So white people are literally the last group of people who should have anything to say. So the next time you want to call somebody an illegal immigrant, take a look in the mirror.
We about to have YN Black Panthers. I think that's great. I do. Constructive destruction. Constructive destruction. Constructive destruction.
People, all the hard laborers. Who's gonna do construction at 2 o'clock in the morning in freezing rain? I don't see nobody else doing that. I don't see nobody else landscaping. I don't see nobody else doing these hard jobs. Our people come here and they fight and they struggle and they do the jobs that no one will do for pay that nobody would accept. So my thing is, we deserve it. We deserve a chance here. People have been here their whole life, never committed a crime, worked every day, given so much money to Social Security, so much money to taxes. They don't claim that. They don't get that money back. We deserve a chance, y'all. We gotta keep fighting. We gotta be the voice for the people that can, for our fathers, for our cousins, for our brothers. Viva Mexico, cabrones!
Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, I hear freedom calling, calling me to heads. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
Thousands gathered outside Chicago's Trump Tower, where demonstrators shut down streets.
He is dividing us. He is dividing minorities. He is dividing women. He's dividing gays. He is dividing the very social fabric of it.
Yeah.
My version's the best, but I lost.
What did it sound like?
My funny Valentine.
Did you win?
No, I lost.
How did you lose?
The other girl, she beat me. I don't know. I thought I should have won. I thought I was hot. I had on a hot little dress.
How old were you?
What does it mean to be free when every month niggas is stressing to pay the lease? When children dying off in the street and billionaires is gluttonous getting fatter for greed? And what does it mean to be free if every time I look in the mirror I judge me? When they told me my pigment was ugly, how could I ever expect somebody to love me? Self-hate all in the subconscious. Healing yourself is a lifelong process. Instagram making it seem trendy. Wearing Christmas ink will solve all your problems. Send a prayer for those stuck in violence. North Philly all the way to Chicago. Free the Congo, free Gaza. Free the world, releasing all the trauma.
He did it in different ways with all of us. You know, picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you.
I see myself standing in those dark, scary, predatory spaces and hearing somebody say some of the most degrading things to me.
How was it predatory?
Somebody constantly treating you like a piece of meat. Only valuing you for your sex appeal. And in some of the environments, you know, it was even scary to be by yourself.
Despite turmoil on and off camera, Danity Kane debuted to massive success. But that momentum came to a screeching halt when Diddy fired Aubrey O'Day and D. Woods.
Based on a lot of things that I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you can go too.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
Hey, real quick, since Cheeto canceled Black History Month federally, I suggest that we impose White History Month yearly, right? Let's teach the younger generation all the heinous things that the United States have done to all minorities and women, right? Let's highlight the men, because that's what he wants, right? No more Black History Month federally. Okay, so even at the state level, we're going to impose White History Month so we can remind them of all the heinous things so they don't repeat it, so we don't get to where we are now again in the future. What do you all think? White History Month. Is that a go?
Okay, specifically to my people of color and to the community that cares about my black brothers and sisters, I need y'all to pay attention because I told you before the DEI policy setback and how they're taking all of that away was a guise. It was a blanket. Part 2 was them allowing police officers to no longer need reform and no longer be investigated for the mistreatment of certain individuals like ourselves. I know some people like to negate that our number one enemy is really the police when it comes to people of color, black people, but we all know that they were out here basically right in between the face like they did the woman over the fucking pot of hot water. Nevertheless, they want us to act a monkey fucking fool. They're about to try to take away Black History Month. They want to introduce Don Julio in a Popeyes collaboration, and that shit is straight up out of They Clone Tyrone. They're about to take away Black History Month, and it's going to be under the guise of doing it for the better of the world because no one should have that, right? Like they always say. I'm telling you right now, they're going to try to keep us sedated, medicated, quiet, and unaware. If y'all take y'all ass to Popeyes for a Don Julio collaboration like y'all did that sandwich, you're going to be on my fucking block list. It's time for us to let Target go. DEI policies gone. We no longer fuck around and find out. They're going to find out for fucking around. Got it? Now, we're not going to act surprised when Donald Trump gets on here and writes out Black History Month because we have a whistleblower who is Mark Zaid, the
D.C. attorney known for handling cases regarding national security, security clearances, government whistleblowing, freedom of speech claims, responded to President Donald Trump's order not merely to cut all DEI incentives in the federal government, but also demanding that all federal employees expose any colleagues who have anything to do with the DEI type programs. This is the man who is coming forward saying he is going to axe Black History Month and he don't want us to be surprised. He is stating that CIA employees were told all resources and affinity groups are canceled, which is, you know, what we celebrate. Saying that no Black History Month or MLK celebration or any other ethnic recognition months. They want to fuck with us? Hold them dollars until we can go to only Black-owned communities, Black-owned compounds, Black-owned campuses. We're not fucking around. They take away Black History Month, they're going to want us to act the ass, and we need to be coming together now. Please share this. Let our sisters and brothers know that we're not going to fuck around and find out. They're going to find out for fucking around.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man?
So Trump wants to make Canada the 51st state. Well, you won't believe what the response was to that. Just watch.
You know something? To the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So, you know, it's not realistic. I know he likes making these comments and he likes joking around. I take that seriously. He may be joking, but under my watch, that will never, ever happen.
It seems like nobody wants to join our country, especially after this.
What are they putting in our food?
They're putting all kinds of chemicals that are banned and heavily regulated in other countries. American iconic companies are using ingredients that are safer and better in other countries while serving us the more toxic, poisonous version.
In Europe, you can eat an entire pizza and feel just fine. And if you try to do the same thing here, you will literally feel terrible. And what this guy says is the whole reason why.
Only way to relieve the brain of that pressure, or whether we talking about hydrostatic pressure or oncotic pressure, is you have to relieve the gut. So you gotta cleanse the gut. You cannot cleanse the brain without cleansing the gut.
I wanted to see if that was really true, so I did my own research, and studies show that our brain and gut are very closely connected. And if you're eating the typical American diet without flushing out all those toxins, you probably feel tired no matter how much sleep you get. You probably feel irritated and moody at the smallest things, and you probably randomly get acne. And if you're not going number 2 at least 2 times a day, that stuff is just sitting there and spreading to the rest of your body. Now, there's a ton of different drinks that can flush out your gut, but most of them are not putting nutrients back into your body. That's why for anyone looking to clean out their gut, I highly recommend soursop and black seed bitters. Not only is there soursop in here, which is filled with amazing benefits, but there's also senna, moringa, black seed, honey, lemon root, cheech, tamarind, goatweed, Irish moss, hibiscus, and so much more. Now in today's world, you're not gonna see this in stores because they make trillions off us getting sick, and this natural remedy would make them no money. So to get stuff like
to the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Roland Martin said that the FBI and CIA allegedly got videos of Martin Luther King that would damage his legacy. Y'all, take a look at what he said.
Let me explain to y'all what's about to happen.
What's about to happen?
The FBI so-called recordings of Dr. King were set to be released. Those will now be released. FBI, who I simply do not believe, claims that they have recordings of Dr. King having affairs, involved in orgies. They claim that he was with a white prostitute in Las Vegas. So Charlie Kirk, he did all his videos trashing King. Oh, we shouldn't be celebrating him. Let me explain to you why they doing this here.
Why?
They are going to try to completely destroy the legacy of Dr. King.
Now, y'all heard what he said. All of this is alleged. But let's say hypothetically that this do come out and there is proof of this. That's not going to tarnish this man's legacy. We all know what he did for us. So videos of him performing in orgies or with a prosty, so?
If they take the 14th Amendment away, we would be classified as slaves again.
And I'd also like to add that Trump is trying to remove the 14th Amendment for Section 3, which basically states in layman's terms that no person can hold a political, civil, or military position in the government if they have been a part of an insurrection or they funded an insurrection. So if the 14th Amendment is removed, then 27, if I counted correctly, of his 32 convictions would be nullified. They would just get erased in history, like the 14th Amendment, and all of our freedom.
Everybody evacuating. Literally everybody evacuating the Walmart.
What you doing? Come on!
What is everybody leaving? The cops are here.
Sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Y'all finna start discriminating us? Huh? Is y'all finna start discriminating us? So y'all telling me if I want a job here, I can't work here if y'all don't like me? That's what y'all telling me? Don't say nothing, officer. Hello? Y'all finna start discriminating us, Target? This what we doing? Is this what we doing? Y'all quiet in this motherfucker. Where the workers at? I got kids. I need a job in this motherfucker, man. What's going on? Y'all finna follow Trump and his rules? Don't say shit. That's fucked up. We got kids out here. Y'all fucked up in here.
You know, we're born with a percentage of gold in our bodies. Gold is a heavy metal, which makes it a superconductor. You know, a superconductor of electricity, to be more specific. When a person's talking about having muscle, you know what I mean? The greatest muscle, of course, is the mind. And the mind muscle is what electrifies signals for every other muscle to be able to work. It's what actually gives you strength. It's not the bulkiness of the body, it's the strength of the mind. You know what I mean? So that actually goes with the body's electrical system to be able to heal itself. You know what I mean? Or to pineal gland function. Because there's a large percentage of people on this planet Earth that don't even dream. And there's an even greater percentage of people on this planet Earth that don't have lucid dreams.
Dreams help your brain organize information and memories in a way so that you can be able to use it in the future. Dreams also can help you process difficult emotions as well as painful experiences. It can also help you with problem solving. For an example, there was a study that was done, and it found that people that dreamed about doing a maze was 10 times better than those that didn't. 19 Keys was speaking about colloidal gold, also referred to as Ormus or elixir of the gods.
Am I the only person that didn't know that there are global protests going on right now because Trump got elected as the United States president? Like, it's so much censorship going on these apps to where it's not even funny anymore.
Do white people feel guilt and shame about slavery and Jim Crow? And I'm not saying this to be divisive. I'm asking because I'm watching German people react to what they think is the second coming of Hitler, and they're basically sick to their stomach. I didn't know that German people were so guilt-ridden about Nazi Germany that they started killing their children when it was over. You can't even refer to Yazidis in Germany, but yet we still have KKK and Yazidi supportive groups marching around the United States. Not only that, racism is still alive and well. There are still people who use the N-word. Whenever black people refer to slavery or Jim Crow, y'all be like, oh, well, it was so long ago, get over it. So that just lets me know that y'all do not feel the same shame and guilt that German people feel. And I've noticed that even white Americans are so like sympathetic about Yahtzee Germany. I see y'all talking about it every 5 business days on this app, but somehow pay dust to the atrocities committed by your own ancestors not that long ago. Now I have to wonder, do people feel guilt and shame about it just because it's people that look like you? Is the guilt and shame coming only because they're also white? Or is the guilt and shame actually from it being a humanitarian issue? Because Europe colonized millions of people of color who are still suffering to this day from those acts of colonization, but I don't see them throwing up, crying about that. Just curious. Slavery lasted 400 years and Jim Crow was 75. Y'all displaced entire groups of people from their homelands, stole lands from others, and are still stealing resource and laborers from certain groups of people to this day, but y'all feel so bad about Yahtzee Germany. Yeah, that just goes to show me that y'all are actually still racist. You haven't learned anything. Your mind is still deeply rooted in subconscious racism or conscious racism, because at this point I do not know. And you only care about other people who look like you.
All right, y'all, hear me out. Maturing is realizing just because one of your homegirls doesn't invite you out with her group of homegirls doesn't make her fake. You don't know if you're going to mix with those girls or not. Your friend probably already knows that you're not going to mix with those girls, so she just decided to act. Those are her friends, and she's keeping y'all separate for a reason. You feel me? Don't stop feeling obligated to go everywhere with your homegirl because that's your homegirl. Your homegirl got other friends, and that's okay. Learn to love people individually.
See, the problem is we don't have any selfless leaders anymore. A lot of our civil rights leaders were very selfless. They had families, children, and careers, but they were still willing to lay their life and their freedoms on the line to fight for a bigger cause. A lot of y'all feel discouraged because y'all waiting for somebody to come out and be the savior when you are the savior. Our civil rights leaders were just regular people like you. They were affected by the bullshit that was going on, so they took the initiative to make change, which is what we need to do. We need to learn from them. Change is not going to come unless we make the change. And I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. I'm this close to starting a goddamn coalition and going to Malcolm X way. Okay, I'm ready to get on my Marcus Garvey, Tupac, Nat Turner, Angela Davis ass shit. Do you hear me? These people that lost their everlasting minds. But like I said, y'all looking around for a savior when you are the savior. Black Panther Party Reloaded. Like I said, I'm ready to start cool.
TikTok, but ain't he the one who banned it? They speak the truth up on that app, freedom of speech, thought we had it. They took CapCut down, can't he edit my shit? Zuckerberg can't wait for shoot you, thought to get slayed. Trump taking LGBTQ out schools, how y'all feel about that? He taking men out women's sports, damn, how y'all feel in the chat? It's Trump first week in office, already got his foot on the gas. I wonder if Kamala would've fixed this shit that damn fast. Trump a monster, damn, that's what they called him. He closing up the border, saying immigrants over water. Damn, I think America done really got their father. Damn, and he got Elon on his motherfucking roster. Watch UFOs up in the sky, so now this shit is just normal. Is it alien or government? I think we should know them. Trump banning TikTok was nothing more than a promo. They shouldn't ban it. Too much business is done started to grow them. That's why I voted for God. All the shit a facade. This world a big ass stage. Give a round of applause. The Pope done open them doors. Done let the devil run loose. It's 2025. This year is feeling like the goose. It's the year of the snake. 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. It's the year of completion. You can just see by the signs. If you don't see what's going on by now, I'm sorry you blind. God finna give us an upgrade, so please don't get left behind.
Okay, so I was just watching this video and he was saying like Martin Luther King, he was the type of black man that white people liked because he was basically like a pushover. He allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do him. Like we could be, millions of people could be marching and stuff like that, and he tell us not to fight back and all that stuff, right? So what I had got from that was like, he absolutely motherfucking right. Because like, if you're not doing what the palm hand people say, they not gonna respect your ass no type of way. Like, okay, like prime example, let's say like the gangs. We see a lot of young men that's in gangs and stuff like that. They building their own thing, they rebellious, they doing what they supposed to do, they feel like what's right. See, they don't care what they do every time, like the big games, like Larry Hoover, King David, and all them. They were standing up for like equal rights, and the government shit didn't like that right because on the fact that they had their own mind, they thought for themselves, and they was thinking, oh, it's gang banging and like that. No, this is the way that they feed their people. This is the way that they help their people. We had to get it from some way, but if you're not doing it their way, it's a problem. Us doing it like them people way, it's gonna take us years. It's been taking us years. How many years it is, and we still don't have equal opportunities and shit like that, right? So all I'm just saying is, like, we have to do what's best for us as a whole community. Like, at the end of the day, these people don't give a fuck about us. You can't go get a loan or nothing like that from the bank without them giving us push come shove and shit like that. It's gonna take us years to meet up to where they want us to be at because they giving that shit out to them. Because you know why? Because the plan was made for them. The shit was never made for us. We have to wake up and realize this shit ain't for us. And yes, we could control it because we don't have to live how they want us to live. It's your choice to have them in your presence in your life. You could cut people off easily. I'm just saying.
You haven't got a revolution that doesn't involve bloodshed. And you're afraid to bleed. I said you're afraid to bleed. Long as the white man sent you to Korea, you bled. He sent you to Germany, you bled. He sent you to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, you bled. You bleed for white people. But when it comes time to seeing your own churches being bombed and little black girls murdered, you haven't got no blood.
My algorithm has been suppressed. My videos are not getting out, but this is a warning and we need to rally together. If you are a person of color, a black person, because this is, again, directly about black people, like, share, comment, boost this to the For You page because this is serious. Remember how I told you that once they were done focusing on immigrants, they were going to turn on black people? And this is why we should have minded our fucking business and stayed out of it altogether. Trump's Justice Department halts police reform agreement. Why is this a problem for black people? Because that police reform was specifically put in place in 2015 after Freddie Gray was slain, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it means. It's basically made it so that they could keep tabs on police departments for the people that they were unaliving, harming, or being treated unfairly through them. It makes clear that the department will use all appropriate legal authorities to safeguard civil rights and protect the environment. This has to be consistent with long-standing departmental practices informed by the expertise of the department's career workforce. You follow that up with what just happened with Elon Musk doing that salute. I told you guys we were next. Share this. We need to come up with something now. This is not a joke.
What I'm gonna say gonna make the black community mad, but I might as well say it. It is sad that we were together more during slavery than we are now. And before y'all call me a coon or whatever, let's look at it like this. You got the old versus the young, the rich versus the not rich. And then you got the ones that are not rich acting like they rich. And you got the ones that are rich not helping the ones that are not rich. Religious black community versus the worldly black community. And the ones that are black that don't act black, they are always picked on. But when people that are not black, they speak for us, they're our allies all of a sudden. Oh, you invited to the cookout. And most of the time, they don't even be for us. They just putting on a show. Not saying we need to be against people that are not like us. But if you paid attention to history class, who screwed us over the most? Then we talk about God, God, God. But we don't act godly. When are we going to stop screwing each other over and helping each other out? That's all I got to say.
Yo, I don't know who the fuck need to hear this, but for all the motherfuckers in the back, I'm going to have to say this shit. If your kid is fucking sick, possibly could have COVID, RSV, flu, whichever fucking flu, or whatever the fuck going on here, keep them the fuck home, bro. Keep them the fuck home because y'all sending these kids to school all fucked up. They sneezing, they coughing, they all over the fucking place and touching other people's kids and shit, using the same items and shit, sitting next to each other, all in each other's fucking face. And then they kids come to fuck home all fucked up, bringing that shit back home. People like me or other children in the house. Everybody's body is real different to when they get fucking sick or they catch some of these things that's out here, bro. So it's just like, you think, oh, whatever, you still sending them. Listen, if they still in contagious phases mode, keep them the fuck away from school. Keep them the fuck away. That just ain't no other way, no nice way of saying that shit, bro. There's no way of saying that. Like, I keep seeing that happen. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's not registering? I know some people, your lifestyle might be a certain way or whatever it is. I get all that. But your kid come the fuck first. Like, they come the fuck first. They sick as a dog. Come on now. Don't try to slap them with a little medicine, kiki, and then fling them to school because they still contagious to other kids. Even they teachers, like, come on, bro. Come on. Y'all gotta do better than this, bro. Shit getting me tight. I done flew to the hospital mad fucking times. I'm tired of seeing them niggas' faces. Tired of seeing their fucking face, like, for real. All jokes aside. My older kids come home with some scream shit going on from other fucking kids. I cannot take this shit. Stop the bullshit. Be a parent first and everything after, bro. For real.
I noticed we're not seeing Palestine. We're not seeing the California wildfires. No more drones. No more Cat Williams. No more Terrence Howard. They're not talking about Luigi. They're not talking about the guy that they found on the East Coast with 150 pipe bombs. They're not talking about none of this stuff, bro. Dang. They finessed us. This app is definitely different. That's crazy. Who else noticed this, bro? I knew it was something different about TikTok, bro. Bro, I want y'all to go in y'all search bar, search the California wildfire. I just posted about the California wildfires. But as soon as that uploaded, I started thinking, I ain't seen no alien content, no conspiracy content, dealing with the devil. They ain't talking about that spaceship that they found in space that was coming. Remember that? Bro, how is this okay? See, I'm about to go back to red note, bro.
Oh, well, oh, deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself.